Oh, hey guys, what's good? What's happening and what's going on? So you remember the other day when I talked to you guys and I said we had a power failure and I was all worried because I was doing that big print. What was I printing? Oh yeah, I was printing the shelf stuff. And then the printer had the option to resume, so we didn't get a catastrophic event there. We were able to actually recover our print. Well, we did get a catastrophic event, and it has nothing to do with the 3D printer. It has to do with my gaming computer. It will not turn back on. Remember I was having a problem with the power button acting up? Well, I decided to see, all the power button is on these computers. It's a momentary contact switch that shorts 2 pins on the motherboard and tells the computer to turn back on. So I basically disconnected the switch, took a screwdriver and shorted the pins, and guess what? It didn't turn back on. Only reason why I know this works is back in the day I used to have a test bench and I wouldn't hook a power supply up to it. Literally my test bench was like a motherboard bolted to a piece of plywood, and I would just turn it on by using a screwdriver, a flathead, and tapping the 2 friggin' connectors. Well, I tried that with this and it will not turn back on. I have a bad feeling my gaming computer might be dead. But that's not what today's video is about. I'll play with that some other day. Today, right now, I'm printing the Senko mold, the one that I've tried to print multiple times and failed multiple times due to the fact that this is a massive mold and my filament kept breaking off because my bolt on my extruder was way too tight and it was causing the filament to bind and then it would just break. So this is one of the biggest molds I'm probably going to be printing ever in the history of ever. It's going to be a 2-day mold, but if it actually succeeds, it's literally going to give me the ability to pour 3 Senkos, actual Senkos, not those top pour worms that I made a bunch of in a previous video. These ones will look more like the real deal, which will be pretty badass. Also last night, I printed another Google Home mount because this is going in the bedroom to get the Google Home off the table. And you're not going to hit the GoPro. Whoa, that is tight. Talk about tolerances. Talk about tolerances, eh? Holy piss. Let's just tilt you back a bit, just in case you get stupid. But, oh man, I printed up some more of these guys, these Swimbait molds. So we're going to have a bunch of them now. Because I want to go out to the garage. I'll leave that running. I want to go out to the garage and see a guy about a horse. No, that's not it. I want to go to the garage and see about laminating. I have a question about that. So all the videos I've watched about people laminating swim baits, and what that means is when you use 2 colors, like you put a base of like white and a top of black, or you know, yellow and a green or something, to basically give the swim bait this different color so it looks more original in the water. Every video I watched on it, they're using aluminum molds, and they got the aluminum molds sitting on a pancake pan. What I mean by a pancake pan is like one of these things here, these flat top cookers. Now obviously I can't do that with my 3D printed molds because they would melt into a pile of gelatinous glob and they'd be no longer functional. So I'm wondering if there's another way I can do it, and we're gonna give it a try right now. But first, I have to pee. Yeah, it was so nice today when I was at work. Like, it was sunny out and the weather was great, and I was like, oh, maybe I can come home tonight and work on the Trans Am. And then 4 o'clock hit and it started pissing rain, and I was like, well, there goes that idea. So I was like, well, I just got attacked by a giant pile of lint. Anyway, so I was like, well, what can I do tonight? Well, we have now officially 5 of these swim baits. For some reason, some are more yellow than others. I don't know what's going on there. We do have 5 of these swim baits. My objective is to clamp them all together and then pour them. But I'm probably not going to be able to do that. But for now, the testing purposes, we're just going to use 1 swim bait. Let's get you guys on a real tripod. Alright, so to do a real swim bait, we're going to need 2 measuring, or to do a laminate, we're going to need 2 measuring cups. I love this. There's like goop in the bottom, but you can just peel it off, and then you end up with this like amazing looking friggin' chunk of plastic that I have no idea where the hell I'm going to put it. Should get a bucket out here to put it in, but I'll just end up sitting on top of the microwave for now. And we'll grab another one of these measuring cups, because we're going to have to preheat 2 cups of plastisol. We're not going to use 2 full cups. I'm going to put a half a cup in one, a half a cup in the other. Just want to get all the green out of here, because I think this one here we're going to do black and maybe white, or I'm thinking black and white. Why not? So let's go ahead here. We'll pour. Where's our cup marker? I always put it on the wrong side. So half a cup is the second line. And I over poured, but that's fine. And I poured it all over the friggin' desk. That's okay. Good enough, good stuff. Okay, perfect. I've never done 2 cups at once. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and chuck these in the nuker for 3 minutes, get them up to temperature, and then we'll see how they look. While that's cooking, let me grab my little clamps. I don't think I'll be able to do 5 at once because I think fast. What'll happen is I'll be able to get 1 at a time laminated, but I'm pretty sure, like last year I was catching fish on silver flukes. They're heavily salted, mind you, but silver flukes nonetheless. They're the max 18 times max scent power baits. So I have a feeling this will work. Probably not. Key. I'll be right back. All right, guys, she just chimed. So I'm gonna move some stuff out of the way here. Those over. I'd probably put those on my airbrushing shelf. Yeah, these are not cooking evenly. One is almost transparent and the other one is not quite there. I'm just gonna move this guy out of the way. Grab some more butter knives here. This one here is cooking up nicely. And this one here is still milky. I don't know what the heck's going on there. Uneven heating of my microwave. Let me blast it again. Put them in for, I don't know, 2 minutes. And then we'll see what we see. I was watching that World's Worst Fishing. And he's got a bunch of like stuff like this, and like he uses injectors. So like when you're done injecting, you pop the end off and you can push the injector all the way through and it fires out these like rubber pucks. So he just chucks them off in the corner into a bucket, and then what he'll do is he decided to grab all of his ends, his pucks, fire them into a rice cooker and get them nice and molten. Then he injected a bunch of plastic with it, and surprisingly enough, it looked pretty cool. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. One is clear, one is still milky. So I don't know what the heck is going on with that nonsense, but let's give it a quick stir here. I don't know why it's uneven heating, but it's definitely a problem in the microwave doing 2 at 1. I might be making some simple plastics because this one here is ready. That one's ready. This one, not so much. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to dye these right now. So what I'm thinking, and we're going to play with sprinkles this time around. Didn't I have sprinkles down here? Let's do... The white is going to have some silver fleck in it. That's another question I have is, will dollar store fleck actually work? I'm just going to grab my 1/8 tablespoon and go inside and dump that in there. That should be good. I'll put a little bit more. A little bit extra fleck. And the black... I'm going to mix it with gold fleck. So we're going to answer a couple things today. Does dollar store glitter actually work for making baits? Man, you get that shit on you and it's on you for life. People are going to think I went to the friggin' strippers last night. I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to pour it in there. Because why be a professional when you can be an amateur? All right, so we got the fleck in there. Now, where's the black? That's green pumpkin. You are blank. Did I open that yet? Obviously not. Now, I don't know if I can microwave it with the fleck in there, if it's going to cause a problem. So that's going to be another test. Some opaque black and with the gold fleck. I'm pretty sure all the gold fleck just melted. I barely see it in there anymore. Oh no, it's in there. It's actually working. It's just not enough. So let's put a bunch more. Now this could either be a really cool bait or a really bad bait, and that's what we're looking to find out. I'm gonna have to nuke it again before I pour it. Also doesn't help that this is a cold day. It's only 4 degrees Celsius out, and I could turn on the heater in the garage, but I don't see that really helping much. All right, and this is gonna be silver with white. I should probably stir it up. Good enough. Grab a new knife. Oh, it's already starting to harden. That's going to be the other problem, is dealing with it already starting to harden. And you definitely cannot see the fleck in that. So I'm going to go ahead and nuke these again. This will be a test to see if those flakes react with the microwave like tinfoil does. So I'll put them in for another minute. And let's see what we end up with. There, fired up the heater. Get some thermals in here. All right. It don't matter if you're black or white. Remember that song? I'm going to add some more flake to it because I'm not seeing any flake in there. Probably all melted. Where's the silver? I'm gonna add a whole shitload to this one. Now, like I said, this might work or this might fail. That's why we're experimenting, because experiments are fun. Now, the hard part's going to be to pour this. Okay, that one there is going back in for another 30 seconds by its lonesome. This one here is going to get stirred up. Like, I don't know how that happened, but this one here is so much better. Like, you can see the fleck on there. You can see the fleck on there. Can you see the fleck on there? Am I even holding it in the lens? You can see it. Dripping plastisol everywhere, but that's okay. Okay, that's a lot better. All right, guys, now the pouring part is going to be a little bit difficult. I'm sorry if I don't get the shot, but basically what I want is just the belly. Okay, and then the rest we'll do it in black. Let's see how that works out. Of course, you get back to that tail region and it's just game over. We'll see. I need some more on top. She's starting to sink because of the cold. And we'll let that cool down and we'll see if we can laminate baits. I have a feeling the answer is going to be no, but you know what? That's why we do testing. I am going to pour a bunch of white ones and black ones alone. Unless this accidentally works out, then I might pinch a bunch together and pour a bunch together in black and white. But we'll see how this turns out. You never know. Maybe you can laminate in a mold, in a 3D printed mold. Maybe you can't. I just made that one swim bait in the translucent green pumpkin because I didn't put enough dye into it. That's really translucent. If the fish even see that, I'll be impressed, but they might smell it. Now you're probably saying, Adam, they actually have proper glitter to be using for baits. Well, I did research on it, and glitter is glitter. My only concern was Dollarama glitter, because maybe they're using a substandard product to make the glitter, and it'll react wrong with the heat and become like a mica powder where it'll literally dye the plastic and like completely melt down and cause a problem. But it seems to be holding up. Still, I don't even have a friggin' bath out here. I'm gonna go in the house and get a Tupperware container. The one I was using had a hole in it and left a huge water spot on the desk. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab a water container. All right, guys, I'm back. I'm gonna move this here over. We're gonna say that this is done. It did sink in the top again because of how cold it is out here. This might not be a good thing to be doing right now because of how cold it is out here. But let's see if we can separate this. Holy shit, that worked. That actually worked. You can laminate without a hot plate. Like, there's a little bit of a bleed out happening, but that's pretty decent. Let me just clean off the flashing real quick. But all in all, that's not too bad. That is not too bad for a little saucy swimmer. I do say so myself. I can't use that name. That's Skivinz. For a 3D printed molded friggin' laminate project, it's gonna be the name of my next band, the Laminate Project. That guy's pretty decent. I'm gonna chuck him in the bath, let him cool down. All right, I think what I might do then, because we know it works, and the mold didn't take any damage. Nice. Let's get this going. Let's grab, where's the warped one? I don't want to use the warped one because it's a pain in the ass. It's going to leak everywhere. So we're going to grab 4 of them. We're going to try and do a 4-pour laminate run just to use up the rest of that shit. Then what I'm thinking is maybe some salted jobbies. So let's get these guys heating. They're in there, right? Get them guys heating. We'll find my clamps that I shoved over here. I'm going to grab the big ones and see if I can clamp all 4 of them together as one big one. I don't know if this is going to work, but like I said, man, it's all about testing. You don't know unless you try, and you can't try unless you do. That makes sense in my brain. Hopefully it does in yours. As long as that doesn't explode the molds, we should be good. I can't believe how good that one looks. That's like blowing my mind. Bulletproof PLA is actually holding up. Kind of wish it sat a little even, but all right. 4 pour and 7 years ago. I'm gonna let you know that this stuff stinks. All right, sorry guys if I'm not getting the shot. I really don't know how else to do this except for getting in the way of the camera. I like my other tripod better than this one because the legs have a locking mechanism. Okay, we're good. I can probably zoom in post. Let's see. Okay, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. And pump the brakes. And then I'll come over here and grab this black. She's extra saucy. Okay. See, if you go slow, it's a little easier. That's when you do what I just did there. Problem is it's building up with plastisol in the front. Oh, I just heard a snap. I think the heat's affecting the mold. All that pressure onto it. It's as you pour it, you get a little bit of plastisol on the lip of the measuring cup. It throws you off your game. I might have a little bit of flashing on that one. And last. All right, probably one of my cleanest pours yet, but as I was pouring it, I heard cracking, so I have a minor feeling. Just noticed that tail is not really up to snuff. There we go, that should hold. I have a bad feeling that we're leaking at the bottom. Oh, no, it's holding. That, the black was super hot. I'm getting some laminate blow through there too on that one. I don't know, we'll let this sit and we'll see what happens. I know this black was super hot. Well, she's 358 now. So she was probably sitting at 380 when I poured it. Now, I don't have eyeballs for these things. I just have what you see. So, just checking the temperature, and they're slowly coming down. But like these middle ones are sitting at 218 Fahrenheit. The edge ones are fine. I wonder if I take the clamps off and just let them do their thing. If separating them might be not a bad idea. And that way there they can just sit on their own and cool down. Yeah, that's probably the best strat right there. Because if I hit them on the sides, they're 79, 71, 70. Yeah, they're not too bad. But if I hit that hot plastic, we're sitting at 160, 181 Fahrenheit in some areas. These are definitely not ready to decase. So we'll let them cool for a little bit longer. I did notice this one here, ouch, 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 has a minor blowout in the ass end, and the tail did not fill because of the blowout in the ass end. So we'll just demold that one and see how it, well, maybe it did fill. We might be okay with this one. It might have a real shitty tail on it. It might lose its tail in the first bass bite. I might try actually making one of these molds bigger. Like going with like this big of a fish, a minnow. So like this guy here would be stretched out even longer. Because I don't even know how I'm going to rig this on a hook. Probably going to use one of my, like just a standard VMC wide gap. I'm just curious where the hook's going to come out the back of them. I never even thought about that when I made the molds. So the hook's in his nose. It's going to come out right there on the back. Boom. So you basically hook them through the nose, come underneath and wrap it in, then tuck it into the back spine. And as he's flapping in the water, fish bites and squishes him down. It pushes the hook up, and then you set it, and it's in his face. So this is going to work. Okay, good. That's one question I had that I wanted answered. So that's good. That's good. That's good. How are we doing on the cooling session here, guys? Are you cooled down? Are you warping? Or can I touch you? Oh, you're warm. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and demold one of them here, if it'll let me. Okay. Oh, yeah. That turned out pretty damn good. Little white belly with a black body. Sweet. Chuck him in there. Let's see how this guy turned out. Is this guy with the blown out tail? No. Well, sort of. This one has a lot of flashing on it. This guy might need some assistance from a knife or something. This one is definitely going to need a screwdriver or something to get a pry going. I cut my fingernails, so I can't get them in there now. Let me see what I got in the old toolbox of tools. Because normally you keep tools in your toolbox, unless you're Skivinz, then you keep PlayStation 2s. All these kids with jobs, and they're all like, I can't wait to leave home. Oh, yeah? Wait till you're paying rent. Okay, that didn't turn out too bad. It's just got a little bit of a dangler off the ass end, but we can just rip that right off and chuck it in the sprue pile. But that one turned out pretty good. You can see some fleck in the top. Not too much, but I don't know. I kind of like that little white belly button. That's friggin' hilarious. Looks like a friggin' killer whale. These kids down the road from me have a swing set, and it literally sounds like every time they swing on it, it's so rusty and like old. But they must be fun because they use it all the time. But it literally sounds like somebody's mud stomping a dog. But yeah, that poured pretty good. See him got his little fin blade on the bottom? They all have that. I don't think it's going to do any difference. On the one mold I was looking at, or the one, not mold, but I was on Canadian Tire. And I was looking at Swimbaits to get an idea on how to build them. And I noticed they all have these like clover leaf, like one leaf from a 4-leaf clover. They all have a paddle tail like that. Some of them had these great big square ones, and I was like, that looks too excessive. So I was like, okay, so basically all it is a half an oval, and then you taper it off, come up, and so I put another half of an oval down here, hard stopped it with a circle, and that's how I built the 3D copy. And then to get this shape, I just took a thing in Tinkercad, and like it's not a square. I don't even know what it's called. It's like a rounded edge, and I put a solid one down. I made this guy the negative, jammed him in there so his back was flush with the top, and then said, okay, finalize, split it down the center. I put my sprue marks or my guides in here to lock it in place, and away you go. Now there's another technique that I'm playing around with. The new Senko mold I'm printing, instead of using circles and holes, I'm actually using balls. So it's a round indentation on one side, and then it's a protruded one on the other. So we're going to give that a go and see if that works out any better. Now, go ahead and get these molds back together. I'm going to clamp them back together. I'm going to have a bag of Swimbaits to bring with me too. I'll have a bag of friggin' hand-poured green pumpkin, garlic spiced friggin' worms. And I'll have these guys. These guys might be good for catching walleye. Put a jig in the nose, sail them out and swim them back, and a walleye might eat that. I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about half the time. Do I need to add more black, or are we going to be good for another run? Let's let that sit for a bit, and then we'll come and check on it. We'll separate them, let them cool down, peel off any surface flashing, and then demold. There might be enough plastic in here to do another run. We might be able to do like 13 friggin' Swimbaits. That'd be a good bag to bring down, especially for walleye. Zing! Fish on! All right, guys, we gave this enough time. Let's go ahead and pop them out. I reheated the plastics. We're going to try and bang out some more. So, see, ooh, are we taking damage? Oh, she's starting to warp on the top. This is one of the original molds too. That's probably the original mold. But you know what? Who cares? They still look pretty sweet. So, I went a little bit more aggressive on the white for the belly, and that's what we ended up with. That's not too shabby. Like, we got a little bit of shit happening up top here, but whatever. No fish are perfect. Swimbaits can't be. But honestly, it looks like friggin' Shamu. It totally looks like freaking Shamu. If these catch fish, I'll be so happy. Because I was successful last year with the flukes, but I didn't catch shit on a swimbait. And Logan was telling me it's because I wasn't fishing it right. And he's going to show me how to fish these right. Mold this guy. Yeah, that mold's not taking any damage. So, there you can see a little bit of the fleck in there that I put in. So obviously I need a lot more fleck. You can really see it on the back though. You can't see much of the silver and the white. You can see a little bit there, a little bit of shining. But that guy turned out pretty damn good. He'll flutter in the water. The Flash Master here. This guy took on a lot of flashing because I kind of accidentally spilled. Shut up, microwave. We don't need to talk to you right now, you son of a... Watch the aggression, Adam. Watch the aggression. Okay. I think I got all the flashing off of it. Let's go ahead and pop this guy open. We're gonna need the enforcer or the enticer or whatever we're gonna call this guy, the liberator. Seeing how that Senko mold that I'm printing right now is also a 2-part, that's gonna be fun. We're gonna need the liberator for that one for sure. So I'm getting a little bit of a bleed through here and I'm not sure what's causing it. It wasn't that. Like you can see the white is coming through the black, but whatever. That'll still catch a fish. Flippy, 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 flappy, flippy, 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 flappy. So there we go. White belly blackbacks. Don't know what else to call them. So we got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. I don't know. Let's clamp some molds back together and pour till we're out of juice. You guys are probably like, Adam, why don't you show us the inside of your microwave? Because if I did, you'd be scared. Oh, that might have been superheated because it got yellow. Okay, we might not have enough for 4, but we'll do our best. All right, let's start pouring some bellies. These might be yellow bellies. Can you guys hear that rain coming down? All right, this is going to be our last run. Holy shit, that's hot. Oh, balls. Oh, that one tail on that first one. She went freaking everywhere. Okay, I may have rushed that last one. It's because when you have that much plastic in the bottom of the cup, it starts to harden fast. So let's see what happens here. All right, guys, final pour. Let's demold it. And then we can bag them. Well, I might leave them. I probably shouldn't leave them in the water overnight. I don't know if you can do that. I noticed that World's Worst, when he cures his baits, he just fires them on a cookie sheet or something, just lets them air dry. I'll probably bag and tag them. All right, demolding. So yeah, I should have used the silver on the top. So you can see the yellow in there because I overcooked the plastisol. And that happens, it discolors. You can buy a heat thing for it to prevent that from happening, but who cares? So that's what happened when I poured a lot of the white in there. This one's got a white fin. That's all right. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm not too upset. I'm not sad. I'm not sad, Panda. Over poured flashing off because this is one of the ones that I friggin' went quick on because I was running out of black. And like I said, you get down to the bottom of the jug and shit gets real. Probably shouldn't have opened it from that side first. That's where the tail is. Let's go ahead and open this side. Separate it apart. Blech. There we go. Okay, this one kind of looks like confetti sauce, but I think the fish will still hit that. Even though he looks like he's been through hell and back. Most of my bait that I use does. You guys ever overfish with a worm? Like, you should have replaced the bait 17 casts ago, but you're still sending the poor sucker out? Yeah, that's me. I'm conservative like that. Like, yeah, I got a dozen worms, but if I can get like 72 casts out of this one, the one worm's like, kill me. Fish are looking at it like, nope, not eating that, But this one here doesn't have as much black on the top. He's mostly white. But this does prove a point that Buddy said about resin versus PLA. You can't laminate with PLA because you can't put it on a toaster oven and do this and that and this and that. Well, I totally proved you can. Like, my laminations aren't awesome colors by any means necessary. Even I'll admit to that. Like, I'll probably still catch a fish on that, but I'm just saying, like, probably not the greatest. I'm sure a pike would friggin' slay that. It doesn't match the hatch, but hey, if you're hungry and somebody waves a cheeseburger in front of your face and you haven't seen it, but you smelt it and it smells good, chances are you're going to want to slay it. Just going to put these molds up here with the airbrush supplies just to get them off the desk until I build another shelf and put it over there by the on top of the microwave and move all this crap off. When I buy my new bike, I'm actually going to use this old rack on the wall here on the back just to have cargo. Have somewhere, like if I'm out and about and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll stop off at the, I don't know, some grocery store. I'll have my cooler bag on the back, or I'll get another cooler bag for it. I'm not going to put panniers on it, that's for sure. I'll leave those on the fat bike. But there we go, the final one. It's the final bait fish. Skiddy-dee-dee. Frigga-dig-dig-dee. Skiddy-dee-dee. Skiddy-dee-dee-dee-dee. Skiddy-dee. That's where we got copyright. All right, into the bath you go, bud. All right, so we'll let those guys tune down. Then we'll count what we got. And see how we did for our Swimbait Moldathon. 4 baits, 4 molds. And we made how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17 swim baits. That's pretty damn good. 17 swim baits? That'll last me a day on the water. That's for sure. Awesome. All right, guys, there we go. That's my show. We're an hour and 25 minutes into recording, so I got a lot of editing to do to get this ready for YouTube. So just to know, I had an hour and 25 minutes worth of footage, so the final product definitely won't be that long, because who the hell wants to watch an hour and 25 minutes of a fat guy pouring Shamu molds? Just saying. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, click that like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go. And the next time somebody tells you that you can't pour laminates in a PLA printed mold, you can tell them, yes, you can. Go watch this video and link it. All right, guys. Until next time, peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.